So what I want to show you is how to do it with the normal graphing that we've done, not necessarily in Vertex form. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to write the one that we're working on because I want you to see that it is the same, that what we did wasn't just make up a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so it should be the negative 2x plus 5 with the negative 3. And I'm going to make my graph a little bit bigger. So if you're doing this right now, I would make your graph a little bit bigger so you have a little bit more room to show everything. So the other way to do this is expand this part, foil or smiley face it, however you like to remember it. And then once you've collected all your like terms, to just graph how we normally graph. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So I'm going to expand because the 2 means I have 2 of these binomials. I'm going to do my smiley face or my FOIL. Again, however you remember is up to you. It's 25. And then I have 2 5x's. The last one. Sorry, guys. I'll move this over. Okay. So now I need to collect like terms. So I've got negative 2 on the outside. I've got these 2 like terms that can go together. The 5x's. So x squared. I'm going to put it in my descending order like I learned how to do. And now I can take my negative 2 and I can distribute it in. So I've got negative 2x squared minus 20x minus 50, and I still have this minus 3. And I can take those 2 because they are constants. They do not have a variable. I'm going to put them together. So I have this trinomial right here, the negative 2x x squared minus 20x minus 53. All right, so the way we learned how to graph is to take our a, b, and c. So a is negative 2, b is negative 20, and c is negative 53. Okay, if you notice, your a here is the same as your a in the original problem that I gave you up there. Okay, can you see how that a and this a are the same? Okay, that will be true every time. So when we've started, we found our AOS, which is opposite b over 2a. Okay, so opposite b is 20. 2 times a is negative 4, so we get an x of negative 5. All right, so our goal is to have a vertex of negative 5, negative 3. That's our goal. And I'll write that up here. Our vertex is negative 5, negative 3. So even if we do this way, all the algebra, we should still have the same exact graph, same exact vertex. Everything should be the same. So this x value, if you remember, that's where your axis of symmetry goes. So I'm going to go to negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The graph is a little small, but that's okay. Okay, I've got my axis of symmetry, and I'm going to plug this 5 in to my trinomial to get my y value. So I've got negative 2, negative 5 squared, minus 20 times x minus 53. And I'm going to do some math. Okay, we're going to math it up. So negative 2, negative 5 squared is 25. This becomes positive 100. Again, if you have a calculator, you can do this. It's no big deal. I'm just showing all of my steps so I know where all my numbers came from. Negative 2 times 25 is negative 50. So they are big numbers, but once you're done with it, you should get a y equals negative 3, which is what we want because our vertex is negative 3, or negative 5, negative 3, which is exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to go down here. Okay, so that's where my vertex is. And it is, if you're, just in case you're curious, it is a max at that point. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my table of values. So I'm going to make my graph a little bit bigger so I can see where my table of values needs to be. So remember, your table of values is that XYT chart that we've been looking at. All right, so if my vertex is at -5, -3, I can use -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, okay? And you would just plug in those numbers and solve, okay? So if I plug into my trinomial, and again, you have a calculator, you can plug in these numbers. Your x is your input. So, excuse me. You can do the algebra for all of these. So we've got -7 squared, which is 49. Yeah. So then we've got times -2. This becomes a positive 140. Okay. So then we've got 8, 1, it's what, -98 plus 140 minus 53. So when all is said and done, we should have a y value that is equal to -11. And if we look at our graph, we can check above. Let's go look at our graph. So I'm going to write -11 in here. I want to see where we ended up in this graph, just to confirm. So this is the point we're talking about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's right. So we're at -11. And we're going to do that for every single one. So -7's here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We know -5 is at -3. So let's find -6. Again, same thing. Plug in your number, do the algebra. So -2, -6 squared, minus 20 times -6, minus 53. This is a really long video. This is -2 times 36, and the positive 120, -72 plus 120 minus 53. So when we do all that math, if we were in class, you would have already told me we should get a lovely -5. So I want to go up, I'm going to put it in my chart. So then find -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go down 5. I'm going to confirm that's where we are in our other graph, so we're on the right track. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're good. And they should mirror each other. So when you do the algebra for -4 and -3, you should get those same exact numbers. And for the sake of time with this video, I'm going to just go ahead and put it in there and show you my graph. So now when we look at both graphs, they should be fairly similar because again, it's graphing by hand. It's hard for them to be exact, but they do have the exact values and the exact points. Okay, so you can do your vertex form problems using your expand foil, all the algebra, using calculator, and then graphing the way we've talked about. Or you can practice your steps and do your transformations. Okay, so again, it's just an introduction. It's not the way we're going to do things quite yet, but this is really good information for you to know already. So when we do start using it a little bit more and you start seeing it in geometry, you are aware of that. Okay, so I'm going to post this. Pause the video as you need to. I'm just going to post it in Classroom. And if you have any questions, let me know. Send me a message on Remind or email if you post something in Classroom because I don't always see it. Classroom doesn't notify me. So I hope this helps.